do you manage and reduce employee turnover rate?
We are at team size of about 250 people. And in COVID, employees became a laptop. So business was going up, so we were recruiting people, and then लोगों को laptops जाते थे, और फिर वो laptops एक महीने में वापस भी आते थे.
अच्छा.
बहुत लोग आज सर्विसेज बिजनेस के बारे में बोलते हैं कि यार कितना ही स्केल कर लोगे.
Maybe it takes a long time to get a high-ticket client.
Clients in the world will look at you only the way you allow them to look at you. And SEO and SEM and social media is not going to help it.
मेरा सबसे ज़्यादा मतलब यूनिक पॉइंट है कि मैंने आज तक जो भी हमारे पास क्लाइंट्स हमने कभी भी किसी को पिच नहीं करा. मैंने अपने आप को हर बार कम ही बताया. तो टेस्टिंग करता था कि एक बार कुछ बड़ा बताएं. एक बार मैंने 50,000 बता दिया और मैं ऐसा था कि क्या होगा कहीं गलत तो नहीं बोलते, बट टेस्ट करते हैं. और उसने बाकी सब क्लाइंट्स तो चलो सोचते हैं, उसने मेरे को मीटिंग में गूगल पे करा था. जैसे कि अभी जो हैं तो हम 3 लाख रुपए उनसे लेते हैं प्लस 1 करोड़ का 10% लिया हमने. तो वो ऐसे करके हम 3 लोग थे, तो हमें पैसे का कुछ था ही नहीं, बस मजा आ रहा था.
Is firing a bad word?
People now care a lot more about personal growth than company vision and culture also, I feel. We have some case studies where someone who started as an intern in our company is now a talent that we manage.
Who is this? Monk Entertainment में के पानी में क्या मिलाते हो आप?
हम ये कह रहे हैं. Chirag Taneja from One Advertising. He says, how do you manage and reduce employee turnover rate? Is there a strategy, or you just deal with the headache all the time?
We are at team size of about 250 people right now, and interestingly, my leadership team has been it's grown together over a period of time, right? They've been there with us for a bit. And now, from a turnover perspective, unless the employees are connected to the purpose of the company, right, it's going to happen. If you're just coming in as a transaction, and we saw that happen a lot during COVID,
right?
Because there was nothing called culture that we could hold together, right? So there was a company culture, there was learning through osmosis that was happening as we were sort of building the company. And in COVID, employees became a laptop,
right?
तो जैसे हम because business was going up, so we were recruiting people, and then लोगों को laptops जाते थे, और फिर वो laptops एक महीने में वापस भी आते थे.
अच्छा.
Okay, so then we realized that it's the only thing that really holds people together is that unique culture that we create for ourselves. So if turnover is a problem, focus on culture. What it is, and this is where, this is where I was speaking about enterprising quality of building an institution versus just looking at something as a business.
Right.
Because
this stands true for every business,
right? I mean, as an entrepreneur, you need to have a north pole, you need to have the why of your business, and you need to be able to enroll people to work with you into the why of your business, right? Between the age of 17 and 25 or 30, the way Jack Ma puts it, you've got to do 5,000 things,
right?
So I was hosting a weekly video magazine, I was a journalist, I was running a .com portal, सब किया मैं. And there comes a point in your life when you find your self-expression. Right. So when I speak about self-expression also, I also see myself as a thoroughbred entrepreneur, right? It's true that even I happen to run a digital marketing company. But is it aligned with who I am? Is it aligned with my core expression? मेरे core expression को connect करके 5 और चीजें हो सकती है, but मैंने ये choose किया, right? And also I feel we are most well placed as agency founders, right? I just feel like, we have the talent, we have the team of 150 people. We are a services business. By the way, बहुत लोग आज services business के बारे में बोलते हैं कि यार कितना ही scale कर लोगे, ठीक है? Because everybody is like a product versus service conversation, right? Everyone speaks about that. They're like, okay, your service business, profitability, this, that, and all, कितना scale कर लोगे? But I feel people sitting in this room, if we have built a service business to the scale that we have right now, very few people have been able to do it. Right? And that threshold that we have is insane. I mean, from here it can only be a multiply effect. कितने लोग services की business, people intensive business actually run कर सकते हैं, right? So given that, I feel like one is we are most well placed to even pivot into multiple businesses because we understand so many businesses.
Right. That is Rohan's point. This thing. Actually one person who I really look up to is a guy who runs a company called Peace Industries right now in Nordics. They are the largest energy provider of alternative energy in the Nordics. I was like, I want to be like that in a few years' time. He built a agency business listed on the Swedish Nasdaq, then went into this business. So I agree with you that, actually it teaches you a lot of skills to be able to build a platform. And then I think each one has their own journey. Some may want to exit the service business and then go into another business. Some may want to continue running the service business while continue other, like, each one, because that would be the journey that each one would have. Yeah, but point on...
well placed to actually pivot into and build an institution.
Like Gary Vee is saying now, I'm
involved in
going
other
to
people's businesses.
like Gary Vee wants to do products and toys, and he says I used VaynerMedia as sort of a incubator
platform. Yeah, if you look at Ryan Reynolds, that's what he's doing, right? Like, I mean, if we look at it from that perspective.
He's an actor now.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a marketer more than anything.
Yeah.
He's a business owner.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
I mean, brilliant.
Their current needs do not align with the needs of. But yeah, just coming back to employee turnover, I think completely vibe with that. That the culture is the thing that keeps it together more than anything else. But I think 25-30% attrition is something everyone has to become very comfortable with, because that's the nature of the new generation now. So earlier it was all about loyalty and spending long years at organizations. Now I think organizations need to focus in that 2-period time frame, which is the average time frame, 1.5 to 2, that a lot of people are spending in organizations. How do we make them fully, productive in the fastest way possible and manage to utilize that time in the best way possible, creating a great experience for them and for the organization. I think if you create that kind of a learning culture, that kind of a culture which breeds, collaboration, that's something that's going to happen really well in the agency business, and that should be the cornerstone of what you're doing. Plus, I think what she was alluding to when she said, a leadership team has grown together. We track this thing called effective attrition, and effective attrition is how many people left, which I wanted them to stay. And that is a much better metric to track rather than attrition, because attrition is all going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure we all have it in a significant numbers, especially with the pandemic and the disconnect which happened through just having remote workforce. It's been more.
Right.
I think that will stable down, but some of it will have to become comfortable.
Just to throw up to that question, and this could be for anybody. Is firing a bad word? Like, you're putting in your heart and soul and money into this and you don't find the right fit. Is firing a bad word?
No,
Absolutely
it's not. No.
I don't think we are the right people to answer that, because we will come from biased POV.
Yeah.
I don't think, if it's not making business and keeping a certain resource.
It's neither fair to the individual and not to you.
Yeah.
So it's just better. You have to do it in a humane manner.
Yeah.
Do it, being very cognizant of what that person's career is going to go. But I think firing is...
You're sensitive about it. I think it's in the best interest. But more from a employee churn POV, we are a very young agency. So about 80-85% of my team is under the age of 26 or 25, which is technically
And how many total people have you got?
100 people now.
Okay.
So it's a predominant Gen Z employee count that we have, which means that, like Rohan said, there is absolutely zero concept of loyalty. That's a word that I don't even speak of. It's actually wrong of me to speak of anything like that, because people now care a lot more about personal growth than company vision and culture also, I feel.
Okay.
So while company vision and culture are super important, that will hold the team intact, they will have a common goal to work towards, but what we're also constantly working on is speaking to them on what are their personal goals and what are they trying to achieve and how can we help them achieve those goals. Because especially in an organization like ours, where we are actually more individual focused in terms of being talent first, as opposed to necessarily being brand first, as most of these guys here. There is too much glamour in being a talent manager, an agent, a representative. There is too much fame that comes through very early. There's a lot of, they are essentially gatekeepers of these people to the mass. So there is just like a surge of power that gets to your head so soon, because you're their bodyguard, you're also their mom, you're their best friend, you're their business manager, everything rolled up in one, for example. So that is for one segment of my team, which is the talent managers, the people who are at 21, 22, they're working with such big names in the industry that it is naturally easy for them to think that, hey, this is easy, that there's no entry barrier. either I can do this myself, I can break out of this agency and start my own thing, take some of the clients myself, or it's like, the thing is that a lot of these 21-year-olds that they are managing are making insane amounts of money,
right?
Who are like influencers themselves. So take this, like a 24-year-old talent manager who is managing a 19-year-old kid. The 19-year-old kid is making 50 lakh rupees a year or a crore a year, and the 24-year-old is making 6 lakh rupees a year. So that dynamic is just, it's mind-numbing to most people that how can I be doing this? How can I be living this life? So in general, because of that, also we face a lot of attrition, and also beyond a point, we've just conditioned ourselves to thinking that there will be about 8, 10, 15 odd people who will be part of the core management who will stick through with us for a longer duration because they're here for the vision, and that vision also aligns with their personal goals. The others are going to be like on and off, so we just conditioned ourselves to figure life.
Interesting. And so this perspective happened 2 years ago, or since the beginning, the first year, or it's still evolving?
For the first 3 years, we didn't have any attrition at all because we were a team of 20, 30 people. It's 3 years, like no one really left. So I used to really pride myself on, look at us, like there's no attrition, and then, like during COVID, post-COVID, just it went through the roof. So I realized that it's just part of life now.
Awesome. That is an amazing perspective. I can totally imagine, especially at that age. मैं 19 साल का हूँ, वो 24 साल को इतने पैसे कमा रहा है, तो I must be doing something wrong.
Yeah. And I mean, the making money on the internet is much easier now.
Right.
So it's an actual question. Like we have some case studies where someone who started as an intern in our company is now a talent that we manage.
Who is this?
Divya Karkira is this guy. He's at 100K on Instagram now. He used to make 10,000 stipend a month, and now he's making 5 lakh.
Monk entertainment में के पानी में क्या मिलाते हो आप?
हम नहीं कहते।
Yeah, you should say, look, daring है बस इनकी.
I have just two points to add in this. One is, I think the second or third time I'm meeting Rohan. First time I met Rohan, he told me one thing, which I still remember, and then I followed. He said I think uncle of his told him that solution to all problems is growth. So, that stuck with me the first time when we had met. So that is, I think, the biggest way to retain talent. If you keep growing faster, because connecting the dots, see, while we are talking, we are agency, leadership, founder, this, that, we are saying we are scalable, we can do everything. That means a lot of people can also enter this business. Yeah. If they can do everything, they are also setting the springboard for their career. Sure. So if we can continue the growth, then they can come in. Second is, there is a very good talk. I would recommend everybody who's listening to go and watch. There's a good talk by Azim Premji on, the journey of Wipro. So he gives very few talks. This is one talk. He's given it at Stanford, and he's made 2 points, which is that IT industry, and I think for us, service industry, IT industry is already sitting as a benchmark to look at. So they grow at, attrition wise, they basically have 20% year-on-year attrition over a long-term period. And they say focus on 2 things, maintaining attrition at 20%. And second is increasing productivity on the same workforce by 5% every year. So you have gains on the same workforce by 5%, and you are increasing, you are facing yourself for attrition of 20%. So you tune your system for that, basically.
Nice. That's a nice formula. I think we need 20 is fine, but on the top end, we need 30% every year. That's all.
So I'm doing the courses for OPM at the Harvard Business School, and there's one case study that we studied very deeply, and what the takeaway that came from that is that we don't let enough people go, by the way. That was very interesting, like we speak about attrition.
Like leave the company.
Yeah, we don't let enough people go, right? Sometimes as you are growing, solution to all the problems is growth. As you are growing, it's a cycle. Most people who start with you sometimes are not able to grow at the same pace.
Sure.
Are not necessarily aligned to the way you want to grow your company. At which point I feel we end up holding on to more people than we should. And
thank you for saying that.
Absolutely. We end up holding on. There is emotion, there is,
fear.
There is fear, there is emotion, all of those things, right? So, people who should stay with you are the people who can grow at the pace, that your company is doing. That's point number 1. And the other interesting thing, especially about senior leadership, is there's a concept of talent portability.
Okay.
especially in the services business. It's an interesting concept.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, here are the next steps. If you want to book a call with my consulting team to be able to understand how we can help your business as a coach or an agency founder, you're stuck, you're not getting sales, there's a link in the description. Click on the link and book a call with my team. In that 30-minute call, they'll understand what you need and accordingly give you the right resources and the right roadmap forward. Second, if you think that you're looking for the Avi Arya personal mentorship, which I do very few of, but I do keep my slots open, then again, click on the link in the description and speak to my team. They will understand your business and accordingly, if you and I are the right fit, they'll connect you and I on a 30-minute call. And I look forward to talking to you. Thank you very much for watching all my videos. There are going to be lots and lots of new videos coming up. Keep watching, fill up the link in the description, and I look forward to talking to you and having my team help you with your journey of entrepreneurship. Thanks a lot. This is Avi Arya signing off for now.
The intellectual capital, we believe, is something that is, as individuals, they feel they're portable because they're knowledge workers, right? They feel like you're doing very, very well in one place, you can go to another place and you can do it equally well. But data shows that it is the culture of the organization that makes the star performers work as star performers.
And these are leadership or not leadership?
Primarily leadership. See, when you're younger, you're very adaptable, right? And then you grow within the organization, right? So the organization has created an environment for you to grow and actually shine through, right? And then if you think that that talent is portable to another organization, there are, of course, conditions, right? Like culture strong organization, culture not so strong organization, moving from maybe a flexible culture to a more rigid culture. So those are variables हैं. But talent portability को समझना बहुत interesting और important है.
I think what Virat said, and I think that it's a younger agency.
Yeah.
I think you and I have been running our agency for a different decade. But I think one thing what I like what he said was that everybody's got a different need in life.
Yeah.
Talk to them, like 15-20 लोगों को अपनी 15-20% लोगों को leadership team में रखो, उनसे vision की बात करो. बाकी पता है 1.5-2 साल रुकना है तो उनसे individual growth की बात करो. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
I would say the vision has to be all encompassing to think how the individuals will also grow as part of it. And some of them might not, vibe with that over a larger period of time. But I don't think the vision is only limited to the ownership. I would say that the vision is for the entire organization because the bottommost guy who needs to connect to the vision more than anyone else, he might not connect to that vision for a long period of time.
Right.
But while he is there, at least he should be connected to the vision.
Right. I have this person, sorry, yeah.
No, that's why I don't have a lot of regret about people, early days of running an agency, the first few years, I think, have regret when people used to leave. It felt like a personal thing, you are leaving me.
Yeah.
As you mature, I think you realize that they're not leaving you. It's just that their current needs do not align with the needs of the organization, and maybe that's not the best place for them to be. And sometimes it's about them sometimes moving faster than the organization, and sometimes the organization moving faster than them. Sometimes it's just a compatibility issue at that time.
I had this one person who left, and I wanted to know why. So I was obviously taking it personally because of massive sales he was bringing in. And anyway, it took me a long time. Took him a long time to to speak in the same language that I could understand for various reasons. We got together and I understood that he said that every time you talk about this, this picture of the clouds, this is going to happen and all that. I won't answer only the money. You show me more money, I make more business. Until you were talking to me about my money, I was okay. Whenever you started talking about all these things, I used to get lost and I used to feel it was a बहुत time लगेगा. तो यार इनकी vision को छोड़ो मुझे अपना. So I was like, okay. So coming back to your point, this one
And that's true. And there's nothing wrong in doing a transaction. See, this is a transaction.
Right.
Okay. And there's absolutely nothing wrong in doing a transaction as a business person.
Right.
But you need the vision holders as well.
Right.
For you to build an institution.
I agree.
Yeah.
In the long term. So I was 18, 19. My thing was that I genuinely wanted to become I used to steal my dad's keys, race with people. I actually thought I wanted to become a street car racer, a profession around me. I couldn't believe it. And I wanted to go to Oxford to study.
So you did streetcar racing?
Underground, whatever was available in India, in Delhi at that point. Everybody did it. Everybody who got access to a car, which was the Maruti 1000, the fastest car possible. A steam might use the car. So anyway, that's what I wanted to do. But because, with the total upheaval in business, family, whatever, so we had to leave everything. So I couldn't go abroad, I couldn't do any of these things. So I started working with my dad. He had a small guest house in Delhi. He had a new Delhi railway station. which is what eventually he was left with. They used to do superfoods. They actually sold it to Dalmia. Beautiful logo and everything. And during that time, the branding, I don't know who did it. It was amazing.
What brand was it?
Superfoods.
Superfoods.
Yeah. So it was a
The tea
biscuit
guys
company.
they said sold it to Dalmia's. The tea guys.
Okay. Not sure. So I think the gentleman who bought it was the son-in-law Birla or something like that. So anyway, so this was the godown, which was so he was left with only that. So that godown was converted into a guest house. All that thing happened. So that guest house, this guy who wants to go to Oxford and do streetcar racing is now at that godown in that guest house. So obviously you grow up angry when your dreams are like this. So that was happening. But at that time, the internet was a new thing. Tried to dabble around with a few things. Created a website called Hotelier.com. And then it just took off. Again, 50 bookings a day, 800 rupees. And we didn't have enough rooms to book other people's hotels.
Oh wow.
And so I used to get a bus in the evening. Every evening I used to take a bus to the airport. किसी को hotel छोड़ रहा हूँ, किसी को वहाँ छोड़ रहा हूँ, and then they used to give me the take time from that. So it was very good money. Then there was another thing that we did. Got confidence कि एक website से होता है तो फिर then we started building other websites. Building क्या होता है? Website बनाने में content डाला. Build कुछ नहीं था, अपने आप आता था. It was free at that time. So I created a website called Cheaper Tickets India.
How long back was this?
2009 is when we started Indian Mobile. 2004, 3, 2 was good.
There were no websites.
Yeah.
Traffic was
Those were the days when traffic was
Traffic just came. You just set it up like that. People just came.
I'll tell you precursor to this. Website बनाया 6 महीने लगा बैंगलोर में किसी ने उन्होंने बोला content लिखो मैंने content लिखा फिर भी कुछ नहीं हुआ. Then somebody told me this very wise thing.
Okay.
Created a query form and a toll free number. How are people getting that? But there was nobody to create a toll free number in the query form. Because so I got in touch with somebody overseas. They needed something which was not available in India, which was called a credit card. कि हम credit card से ही करते थे. Then he got in touch with my mom, with the law and all that. So that's why it took that much time. Otherwise, it should have been done faster. But anyway, that website took off.
Yeah.
And so I did multiple websites. All of them flopped. There were 2 websites. Tourism India. We started a travel company for me with tourism. People coming in 14 days Rajasthan. I sold like million 14 days Rajasthan tours. And then there was the Cheaper Tickets India, which I didn't know what to do with. So one day I got a call from Deep Kala. He had started this. He used to call everybody and say 10-member team. We have an affiliate program or something. So I didn't want to sound like a fool on the phone to say I don't understand what an affiliate program is. I said I'm busy and I'm meeting you. Send me emails. We said you see 50 for a Western ticket and 850 for an international ticket. If you divert your traffic, you go to booking engine and affiliate this stuff. Obviously, I still didn't understand. I said,
So you did it.
Yes.
I did it because there's only traffic. There's no, I didn't know what. There's monetized करना. I didn't even know
कितना
monetized.
traffic था अभी approximately?
5,000 a day.
So and 650 is what he 650 to 850 was what
Per conversion.
per conversion.
So
What did you do then? How much did you do?
we did about 40 to 60 tickets a day.
Insane.
Free money.
Free money, of course.
30 lakh rupees per month का आता था after बीच में affiliate engine था वो bloody chore. I don't want to name those guys. Later those guys that guy joined me and he told me कि सर इतना तो हमने खा लिया whatever.
Honest guys.
Honest story.
You can't beat them, hire them.
2 days बाद ऑफिस हो जाते हैं. But anyway, that was 30 to 40 lakhs every month. It lasted 12 to 13. And then obviously the competitors. When you don't know the game and 50% is fluke, nobody's going to let you be in that game. So that those keywords I started stopped ranking on. I didn't know how to build it better. But that gave me enough corpus to be able to do other things. And that's how we started Internet Mobile and we do it for others. Actually, TripAdvisor and Expedia came to India. They wanted people to get into this. So they gave me an opportunity to speak to brands. So I got on stage. The only hotel, like how? Back then, how can I get 1,000 hotels to come and listen to me for 4 hours?
Yeah.
So they arranged those stages. And when I spoke to them, everybody said, can you do it for us? So that's how we said, करके देखते हैं hotels से. That's how we started, yeah. So, no passion, no goal, no dream, no vision board. Pretty true. Yeah, I still want to go to Oxford. Okay, let's start. We started. Alright, thank you guys. Okay, so one very common question that comes, the agency founder network, is that maybe it takes a long time to get a high ticket client. So this is one wheel that we've been working on just to show to people. It's called a
poor agency founder and a rich agency founder. And rich could have many things from money to success, whatever, however they define it. It starts with people having lack of confidence in themselves and lack of understanding of the industry of what they're. So they sell SEO, PPCs, social media influencer marketing like aloo gobi. They don't sell it as an end product. They sell it like ये इतने में ले लो, ये इतने में ले लो. And वो low ticket से start होता है. फिर वो employee भी वो रखता है substandard, delivery substandard, and he's never able to break out of that cycle. So this question comes very often. How do I get my first high ticket client? Is there
a formula for that?
Is there a formula? Awesome.
Yeah. I think we've all started small at some point, and I think the only breakthrough formula for me is that clients and the world will look at you only the way you allow them to look at you. तुम छोटा बन के किसी के सामने जाओगे तो वो तो फेस करेगा. So there was a time when we were not that so-called big or whatever. It's a journey anyway. It's very relative term, big and small. But we pitched for 2 IPL teams at that time. Or everybody, all the naysayers were like, yeah, there are the network agencies sitting there and pitching for IPL. तुम कहाँ जा रहे हो? Why are you wasting your time? Because we spent bloody 3 weeks, putting these decks together and all of that. And trust me, we won both.
Nice. Nice.
We won both the teams, and the only thing that I think worked in our favor is that we sat there eye to eye, told them what they needed to do,
I love that.
and we got our money. So everybody is looking for nothing but that enthusiasm and passion.
I love it.
In you.
I love it. Confidence.
Confidence, enthusiasm, passion, and you
उस टाइम आपके पास है, you've not really seen life.
But even after you see life, I think that's one thing you should never lose.
I like that.
Yeah, you should never lose that. And if you lose that, then where is the growth? Right? That's when you start plateauing in life.
I love it.
Enthusiasm नहीं है तो कहाँ से growth आएगा?
Well, that's what I like about Avi's journey also. Is I've known him for a while. So, like you said, आप क्यों जा रहे हो? Like where are you going? So I'm sure many people, maybe he questioned himself या नहीं किया question. So anything on this किया आपको अपने लिए आता था थोड़ा बहुत काम लगे. बड़े-बड़े ब्रांड्स को पिच किया 4-5 लाख रुपए का रिटेनर पर मंथ देखी जाएगी. तो आपको हिम्मत कहाँ से आएगी?
मेरा सबसे ज़्यादा यूनिक पॉइंट है कि मैंने आज तक जो भी हमारे पास क्लाइंट्स हमने कभी भी किसी को पिच नहीं करा. वो सामने से आया तो वो इतनी बार एड्स मेरा देख चुके थे. सो वो डेस्परेट थे काम करने के लिए क्योंकि वो बार बार दिख रहे हैं. तो वो हमारा है कि मैं फ्रीक्वेंसी जो रहती है मैं अपनी फ्रीक्वेंसी बहुत ज़्यादा रखता हूँ जब भी एड्स रन करता हूँ. तो एक बंदे परेशान हो जाए ऑलमोस्ट, बट उतना परेशान नहीं हो जाए कि रोस्ट वीडियो और वो सब हो जाए, बट बार बार उसको कुछ ना कुछ दिखे और अलग अलग टाइप का दिखे. सो जब हम फेसबुक एड्स चलाते हैं
एड्स के ऊपर आपका एक अलग
तो पूरा वही है कि सबसे पहले फर्स्ट दिखेगा उनको, फिर उसके बाद 75% वीडियो व्यू देख लिया हमने तो वापस उनको बताएंगे कि आपने इतना वीडियो देखा था बट वो नहीं करा. तो उनको सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में ऐसा हो जाता है कि इसको सब पता है, इसने फर्स्ट टाइम भी देखा, फिर मैं इसके पेज पे गया, इसको ये भी पता है, इसने वीडियो देखी, इसको ये भी पता है. तो वो जितने भी मेरे पास क्लाइंट्स आए वो इनडायरेक्टली उन्होंने बहुत बार मुझे देख लिया था और वो अपने आप में ही उस चीज़ को करने लगे. फिर पता नहीं बोलना चाहिए नहीं बोलना चाहिए. तो हम लोग PR होता है. सो आर्टिकल्स निकलते हैं. सो 10,000 15,000 ऐसे आर्टिकल्स निकलते हैं. तो अभी याहू इंडिया में बंद हो गया तो हमने कुछ 15 या 25,000 का होता है आर्टिकल याहू का. सो हमने वहाँ पे करा इंडियाज बेस्ट फेसबुक एडवर्टाइजिंग एजेंसी एडीमाइट्स. सो अब कोई भी सर्च करता था इंडियाज बेस्ट फेसबुक एडवर्टाइजिंग एजेंसी, सो सबसे पहले वहाँ पे आता था और याहू का नाम आता था. सो जस्ट जब भी हम लोग बैठे हैं तो वो ऑलरेडी पोजिशनिंग हो रखी है. मेरा फ्लो बना हुआ था, हे मेरा ये है, आप गूगल पे हम इंडियाज बेस्ट एडवर्टाइजिंग एजेंसी है. फिर हमने जस्ट एक मेटा आपको ऑफिशियल पार्टनर बनने के लिए माइलस्टोन अचीव करना पड़ता है तो हमने वो कर लिया था. तो मैं डायरेक्ट डैशबोर्ड दिखाता था, ऑफिशियल मेटा पार्टनर है, बाकी जितने मिलेंगे वो. सो वो इतनी ब्रांडिंग उनकी ऐसी वो सोच लेते थे. पोजिशनिंग, इट्स ऑल अबाउट पोजिशनिंग कि आप अपनी ज्योग्राफी समझ लीजिए. अब जैसे
उसके बाद अगर जो भी प्राइस बोलोगे बोलेंगे इतना तो होगा ही,
वो तो हो गई. और मैंने अपने आप को हर बार कम ही बताया. सो जस्ट वो रियल एस्टेट का जब मैं बता रहा था तो एक और हमारे पास रियल एस्टेट है तो मैं हर बार टेस्टिंग करता था कि एक बार कुछ बड़ा बताएं. एक बार मैंने 50,000 बता दिया और मैं ऐसा था कि क्या होगा कहीं गलत तो नहीं बोलते, बट टेस्ट करते हैं. और उसने बाकी सब क्लाइंट्स तो चलो सोचते हैं, उसने मेरे को मीटिंग में गूगल पे करा था.
Nice.
तो उस टाइम फिर वो समझ गया कि ब्रह्मास्त्र वाली चीज़ है ये तो। आपको बस मेन चीज़ है कि आपकी ज्योग्राफी समझनी पड़ेगी, आप किस डेमोग्राफी, आपकी ऑडियंस समझनी पड़ेगी। तो जितनी भी आप जैसे जो मेरी ऑडियंस है या फिर यूट्यूब की जितनी भी ऑडियंस देख लें अपन, सो वो मेनली पॉपुलेशन जो है टियर 2 टियर 3 में है, हिंदी ऑडियंस है। तो आप जितने भी ब्लॉगर्स देखोगे सबकी हिंदी ऑडियंस है। रिलीजियस बहुत वो लोग कनेक्ट कर पाते हैं। फिर उसके बाद बच्चों की पॉपुलेशन बहुत है, तो हमेशा हिंदी में कनेक्शन बहुत ज़्यादा जल्दी बैठेगा। प्लस आप रिलीजियस हो, बहुत जल्दी कनेक्शन बैठेगा। सो आपको कनेक्ट होना है, लोगों का विश्वास लेना है, तो आपको उस चीज़ों पे सबकॉन्शियसली काम करना पड़ेगा। तो आपकी पोजीशनिंग स्ट्रांग होनी चाहिए। जब आप मीटिंग पे बैठो तो आप जो भी प्राइस मांगोगे, अगर आपने अच्छे से पोजीशन करके रखा है तो वो मिलेगा।
वेरी नाइस। सबसे बड़ा रिटेनर क्या लिया अभी तक आपने?
अभी तक मैंने 3 लिया है, 3 लाख प्लस हम लोग जो मेन हमारा पैसा बनता है वो हम रेवेन्यू पे चार्ज करते हैं।
हाँ, परसेंट।
तो जैसे कि अभी जो हैं तो हम 3 लाख रुपए उनसे लेते हैं, प्लस 1 करोड़ का 10% लिया हमने, तो हमारा 13 लाख रुपए हुआ।
नाइस, पर मंथ। Any other comments on hiring it?
I have a very interesting take which we followed. Is our first client used to be at 10,000 rupees a month. But
This was when?
2011.
Ah.
So I couldn't even pay for keeping the electricity on within the office. But our perspective was very simple. People aren't going to know how much the client paid us. They're going to know what the quality of work that we did. So keep improving your quality of work and then keep increasing your rate at the same time. And if you keep doing that, then at some point of time you will get to that big client, and sometimes you take some punts.
Right.
We suddenly took a punt from charging 2 lakhs. We quoted somebody 5 lakhs a month. And they bought it at that point of time. But I think it's a process on investing in the gold standard, which is what we say, that everything that you got to do, you have to try and be the absolute best at it. Because value extraction only happens when you are going to position yourself as a premier service. So doesn't matter what they pay you today. It only matters. Don't try and say that he gave you 10,000 bucks, so I'll give you a 10,000 rupee service.
Right.
In the start, you have to give a 50,000 rupee service and 10,000.
Nice.
And then somewhere it starts catching up to what you are charging and what you are actually delivering.
Nice.
It catches up at some point in time. But yeah,
You can't plan everything. So some plans you take for the brand, some you take for the connection, some you take for a relationship.
in fact, in the start, we used to always say better brand, but lower money. We are happy to do
Right.
that because the quality of work will be better.
Right.
My ability to explore things will be more. So, like my first brand was Have More Ice Cream. So not a small brand by any measure of it. But I was like 10,000 rupees. Even if I get it wrong, I didn't know anything about digital marketing. Even if I get it wrong, how pissed could he be? I've taken 10,000 bucks, you're taking 10,000 bucks back, man. If you want.
Plus free ice cream.
Plus free ice cream. So yeah, you charge so little that you're allowed to make mistakes with the client in the start. But eventually, when you start charging more, you need to know what you're really doing by then.
Like इसमें एक चीज मैंने और करी थी कि we used to offer 80% रिफंड पॉलिसी। अगर आप 1 महीने में प्रॉफिटेबल रिजल्ट नहीं आए तो आपके 80% रिफंड। तो
1 महीने में?
1 महीने में। तो मतलब उतना कॉन्फिडेंस आ चुका था, तो और 20% ही कॉस्टिंग रहती है। सर्विस बेस्ड बिजनेस था और हम लोग 3 लोग थे बस।
फाइनेंस कौन मैनेज करता है आपका?
तो लाइक स्टार्टिंग का स्टेज बता रहा हूँ। तो हम 3 ही थे, मैं था, रिंकू था, अनुज था। सो रिंकू इज टेक्निकल पार्ट, जितना भी हो रहा है ऑटोमेशन
अभी भी है?
अभी भी है। सो उसकी भी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी है। था सब्सक्राइबर, तो हम दोनों वीडियो बनाते थे। तो अब 7 साल हो गए हम लोगों को काम करते करते। फिर अनुज था, तो वो पड़ोसी ही है मेरा, फोटोशॉप सीखने आया था मुझसे। तो वो ऐसे करके हम 3 लोग थे। तो हमें पैसे का कुछ था ही नहीं, बस मजा आ रहा था। तो तब भी 20% पे तो मतलब हमारा हो गया था। वी आर गुड, इतनी तो फीस लेनी थी हमें। और जैसे ही 80% रिफंड पॉलिसी बोलते थे तो वो क्लाइंट क्लोजिंग में एक बहुत अच्छी हेल्प कर देता था। तो स्टार्टिंग में अगर जैसे स्टार्ट करो तो रिफंड पॉलिसी रख सकते हो। जस्ट अगर ऐसी सर्विस है जिसमें आप रिफंड कर सकते हो। अगेन एक्सपेंड पे नहीं रखते थे, सिर्फ हमारी सर्विस चार्ज जो है उस पर रखते थे। क्लाइंट भी खुश हो जाता है, आपको एक्सप्लोर करने का मौका मिल जाता है। अगर कुछ भी नहीं होता आपको सीखने को मिलेगा कि क्या गलत चीज़ है। तो वो 80% रिफंड पॉलिसी बहुत अच्छा प्ले करी। सो जैसे भैया ने बताया कि वो ग्रो करते गए 10,000 से। तो ऐसे ही हमने जो अपना एस्ट्रोनॉट पंडित क्लोज करे थे वो 20,000 में क्लोज करे थे। Now he's doing crore, 1.5 crore.
For us, it's not as much retailers as it's like a one-off big ticket clients that we work with, and one of our biggest clients have been the social media platforms that we work with, because we consistently work with a lot of influencers, talent, etc. So it took me 4 years to build that level of trust with one of these big platforms. So we were always having some of the big names from the platform that were exclusive with us. But they always, for some reason, there were bigger players or bigger agencies, MCNs, what they call, in play. They had their, favorites, etc., etc. We never honestly took it to heart. Yeah, ये क्यों हमारे से biased है, हमें क्यों नहीं business दे रहे, etc., etc. We just kept at it. We just ensured that we were honest in our approach and we were just delivering value to them. They then ended up giving us a project where we had no exclusive influencer in that list with us. They were just like, you guys are too trustworthy to work with. We want to work with you guys. And also many other agencies that had been given contracts, they really messed up, they took super high commissions, didn't give a lot of the payouts to the creators, etc., etc. So we've never really cried foul on things. It's like we will keep delivering value, when it has to come, it will come. Yeah, it was like a big ticket account for us. That was not that difficult to execute at all. So it came after like a 3-4 year of sort of struggle to us as well. But yes, keep at it, keep delivering value. I think that's what all of the people here are saying, that you will not get the big ticket at the first go. You will have to deliver value, prove yourself, and then over a period of time, the value will keep increasing.
So I just wanted an answer, Virat. That makes sense, because does that ethos come from you? That we don't fret the
Absolutely. I mean, that's something that I carry on from school. So in my school days, there was this one incident. I was the captain of my house football team. And in the finals, I was in the yellow house and green house was in the finals.
You went to football?
Yeah, in Bombay only. So yellow house, it was a tie, but then in extra time, green house scored a goal, which was actually the play had to stop. It was a foul, but the referee didn't stop the play. So all my team members were like, "How is this possible? ये goal नहीं है, हम नहीं disallow कर सकते." And I was like, "We have 5 minutes time in hand.
आगे गोल कर सोचो।
अब अभी रोके कुछ फायदा नहीं है। जब जीतेंगे ना उसके बाद रेफरी को सुनाओगे तब वो सुनेगा।
ठीक है।
तब वो इम्पैक्ट भी पड़ेगा, तब तक तुम्हारे हाथ में ट्रॉफी होगी। हाँ। ठीक है, सो कुछ पॉइंट नहीं अभी रोके, अगर हार गए कोई बचाने नहीं आने वाला है। ठीक है। So that's what happened, and then we won the match.
Nice.
We scored 2 goals in 5 minutes. Yeah, that's what happened. So then since then I was just like, you cannot, the world is not fair. So constantly crying about the fact that how is the world unfair to me will get you nowhere. You have to play some of the rules, you have to break some rules, you have to play by the rules.
Lovely.
So just simple as that. You break where you are in the position to break the rules, where you can be in the driver's seat. Otherwise, if you are not, you have to shut up and just build yourself up to a point where you can break the rules.
Beautiful.
So that's honestly where it was.
That is so glad, dude. I'm so glad that we all went back to this segment. This is so important. You are come from a position of strength at times, and they your best shot.
I think people get too muddled up in the fact that things are so unfair for me, or this is not unfair. I need some kind of importance or some equal opportunity. Like many times you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
And it's going to take eons and years for things to change and come in your favor. Till they're not, you have to accommodate what the reality is.
Absolutely. If you're loggerheads in the situation, you'll just keep arguing with it.
Yeah. Just continuing from here, in terms of, again, high ticket, because this is like 4 of these questions around that. So, can you reverse engineer? This, for hotels, this is very simple. Rooms, if you walk into a hotel, we just do a comparison with 4 other hotels. We say this is extra rooms that we can give to you. Per day, say this is 25,000, 7.5 lakh rupees. Whatever. 70 lakhs from rooms, then a year, F&B, whatever. We just say we give you another 1 crore for you a year. In return, we got 5 lakhs, 5% or whatever. We're giving booking.com 17%. So when I go to which is twice we pitch to a real estate company, आप अपने एजेंट को 5% देते हो एक अपार्टमेंट के 3 करोड़ या 15 लाख है, मुझे 5 लाख दो, मैं बेचता हूँ। So reverse engineering to be able to first understanding the person's business and seeing what that cost is. So can you give us some examples? Like I'm sure in larger agencies you do that, because a lot of people who are watching this are sort of shooting that up.
Yeah.
5 लाख मांग के देखते हैं, 10 लाख मांग के देखते हैं, and when वहाँ तक शायद मिल जाता होगा. But if you want to go to bigger deals, you have to reverse engineer, understand the business. Is there some example around it?
Yeah, I think fundamentally, what are you in this business for, right? It is not to provide a service of SEO. It is not to provide a service of social media.
Right.
It is to enable the growth of the business that you are working with, right? And if you don't understand how that business makes money, if you don't understand what their top line is, if you don't understand how much they're spending on marketing right now, you don't understand their problem statement, is top of mind their problem, is the competition their problem, is the quality of product their problem, if you don't understand these things, you wouldn't know what to do for them. And SEO and SEM and social media is not going to help any of this. Yeah, they're just tools ultimately, right? So I think pricing yourself should come from first understanding the business you're working with, right? So if you go into a conversation, on maybe, then you will be always pitted against, the lowest bidder. Yeah. So
commoditize
yourself. You commoditize yourself. And I think even within agencies, right, you have the guys who are doing the long tail, right? You have the guys who are doing the long tail, but then you also have agencies that are actually business consultants, right? Talent agency mein kya hota hai is that...
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, here are the next steps. If you want to book a call with my consulting team to be able to understand how we can help your business as a coach or an agency founder, you're stuck, you're not getting sales, there's a link in the description. Click on the link and book a call with my team. In that 30-minute call, they'll understand what you need and accordingly give you the right resources and the right roadmap forward. Second, if you think that you're looking for the Avi Arya personal mentorship, which I do very few of, but I do keep my slots open, then again, click on the link in the description and speak to my team. They will understand your business and accordingly, if you and I are the right fit, then connect you and I on a 30-minute call. And I look forward to talking to you. Thank you very much for watching all my videos. There are going to be lots and lots of new videos coming up. Keep watching, fill up the link in the description, and I look forward to talking to you and having my team help you with your journey of entrepreneurship. Thanks a lot. This is Avi Arya signing off for now.